Thank you everyone for joining. We've started this on as our tech chat, and for today we have a very special guest from the industry. So we're very excited to have him here today to share kind of perspectives on his career journey, on kind of his current role, what it takes on, especially from a OT perspective, but working with IT people as well. I know there's been a lot of questions around kind of how this whole interaction works, OT IT, and how the transition works in career. So we're very excited to have our guest on for today. And our guest today is Divan, and he's the current head of cybersecurity at Adani Green Energy. So kind of working for a very large corporate. Before this, he's had a broad experience in IT and cybersecurity, working through different consulting, different services, security firms. So it's kind of broad range of experience. Devan, if you want to kind of share or at least talk a little bit about your journey and kind of what you've been through, that'd be great to share with the audience.
Yeah, definitely. So first of all, thank you, Kunal, for having me over here, and like appreciate like you guys doing very good initiative over here, like as a non-profit organization you are running in OT security. So like here, multiple spokes and folks joining over here from IT or OT background. So it is very helpful for them to understand about the new trend in a market like OT security as well. So first of all, thank you to you and your team, like OT security professional team, to conduct the tech talk or the tech chat like that. Okay, and collaboratively, like with the industry, you are sharing the knowledge with the team member. Yeah, fine. And second is you already elaborate the experience over here. So during the 17 years experience, I started with the networking, then SOC, then IT security. So working in the SOC analyst and slowly moved to the leadership position and now in Adani. Okay. So during 17 years, I had worked with a multiple consulting company like IBM, Wipro, and SCL kind of the company. But yeah, it's overall great journey. But I'm in the field since 17 years in the field of the IT security and now morely on the OT security as well, because since last 5 years is more trend in OT security and protect our critical infrastructure. So it's great journey, I can say that. And I learned starting from cabling and Ethernet crimping towards the OT security. So I grown up from the ground and now I'm here at this position. So I can contribute whatever I have the knowledge over here. Okay. So this
Thank
is
you.
from my side, yeah, Kunal, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. No, that's kind of very helpful. Kind of share your experience and background, especially from where you started and kind of your journey through it. So, it would be great to learn about that a little bit and kind of understand about that. Just to before we get into the details, want to share a little bit about our schedule. So we spent 5 minutes on the introduction. Now we'll get into the live chat for about 30 to 40 minutes. At the end, we will have time and we will keep some time for Q&A. So if you have any questions, please put it in the Q&A window. So then we can kind of moderate it, put the key ones up top and kind of use them at the end. We'll have a little at the end. We'll keep 5 minutes for closing remarks, kind of talk about a little bit about OT security professionals, our journey, what we're planning to do for the next few sessions as well. But this is kind of our process for the next hour. I think one key rule, and from a safety perspective, if you are driving, please stop and stop in a safe place so you can take this webinar. It will be recorded and we will be posting it on YouTube shortly. So don't worry, we will have the full content available, and the questions are managed through MS Teams. So please put it in there. Right, and we'll have a feedback at the end of the session. What you like, what we can kind of tailor more and more things to everyone's requirements. These are kind of our QR codes for our YouTube channel, for our LinkedIn channel, for if you want to connect to our WhatsApp community. So I'm sure many of you have come in through one of these channels. So, but if you don't know about other channels, please join us so you can kind of get all of our information from the different forums. And with that, kind of, I'll talk a little about me. Kind of, I've been in the cybersecurity, or rather the IT and cybersecurity space for the last 20 odd years. for the last almost 3 years running my own cybersecurity OT cybersecurity company where we focus on OT security services. Before this, I've had kind of a broad experience in both IT, OT, IT cybersecurity, OT cybersecurity throughout my journey. But kind of really excited to be here and kind of learn from Divan, just like everybody else is, understand his journey and kind of how OT is kind of coming in as this OT security is coming in rather. OT's been there for a long time, but OT security is coming in as this new trend and kind of making cybersecurity tougher for all of us, to be honest. So yeah, I think that's kind of where we'll get started on our chat. So Devan, I think we'll start with the first question. Maybe you want to understand
Yeah.
about your journey. So I think before this, you were kind of broadly speaking in a services organization perspective from a HCL or IBM and Wipro. How has that transition been to kind of being like in a not in a service company, but working kind of in the organization where a company has its own OT assets? How has that transition been? What's kind of been the biggest reflections for you and the biggest changes from you for you?
Yeah, Kunal. So definitely, as I started my journey with a service-based company where I'm sitting in the table in the front of the other side of the table. Now I'm sitting in the other side of the table. Okay, so it's quite different, but technically, as I said, we were providing the service to the client like Adani or other customer in the market or in the global market. So we have like on our toes, and is the security is in the market like is very challenging. Okay, like any industry, like either banking or either financial or either healthcare or infra. Okay, all the industry, because whenever working with the service-based company, that you have to deal with the multiple industries. Okay, so each architecture you have to learn where you're working in the service-based company. Okay, so attack surface, risk posture, and company environment that you have to learn when you work with the service-based company in the both the side, IT and OT side. Okay, but you have to give your best to the organization where you work with the service-based company like IBM, Wipro, and SCL. And because we are bound with the SLA, we are bound with our contract, and we are bound with our service quality as well. So yeah, we have to give our best quality to the customer. This is first part that I learned during the past experience, and now I'm sitting in the other side of the table. So I knew the pain and what kind of the quality can provide the service-based company as well. But in this side is also is not easy role. Like it's complete responsibility on our side as well. Okay, so it's like collaboration or partnership with the vendor when you are sitting at the other side of the table. But technically, again, we have to share our thought to the vendor or the third party or the any partner with us. Okay, like what is in our mind and what is our roadmap. Completely, we have to deliver with them, so they will get the idea what company is expecting, how mature they are in the security side. So yeah, in the other side also, now I have to think completely like what we have to achieve in the next 1 year goal, 3 year goal, or 5 year goal, and then we have to give our presence, our roadmap to the vendor or third party. So that is both the different side, as I said, but learning experience more over there because I had worked with the multiple organization, multiple environment, and multiple products over there. Okay. So yeah, frankly speaking, I can learn more over there, but it's not like that here we cannot learn. But here in specific environment, we have to grow. And like Adani kind of the company where we are running multiple BUs, business units. Okay. So, and IT side, we are quite mature, so we have focused on the OT security. Okay. So because we are infra-based company, so OT security is our high priority. Okay. Because if attacker put the foothold in our infra environment, then it's again financial loss is there, reputation loss is there. So that's why I think we have to like OT security. We are in India. I think we are primarily focused more on the high priority on this OT security side in Adani. Okay, so both is different experience altogether, but yeah, full of learning during the 17 years. Okay, Kunal.
Good, good. Thank you. No, that's helpful. Yeah, kind of it'll be a very interesting journey sitting on this side of the table versus that, and kind of different requirements that you have. So kind of good to know how things definitely change, right? One of the things, one of my next question is actually one of the things you talked about briefly here is kind of that the focus has is now shifting, at least shifting more, or OT security is getting added more, where earlier maybe 3 to 5 years ago all talk was IT security, IT security, IT security, right? Right now, kind of obviously with your role here as Adani and generally in the market, we're hearing more and more about OT security becoming a focus. How has that kind of changed the outlook from a cybersecurity perspective? How do you divide your time and kind of focus on two different elements which are tied together but can kind of act as very different a lot of times, right? The mindset is very different, especially when you talk to people in core OT versus people who are working in IT. So how do you kind of manage that and make sure all everything comes together strategically, because strategically your goal is remains consistent, is to protect the organization, right? So how do IT and OT kind of play together?
Okay. So nice question, Kunal. Like here, both the strategy I need to create differently for IT as well as OT. So we cannot rely on the single strategy. But one thing is common, like if you are sound in your fundamental in the security, how much simple security you retain in your environment, this is very helpful. Okay. So once your fundamental in the security concept is clear in the security, then you can play with the IT and OT. As you know, like CI triad, we have confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So IT side, we are more focused on the confidentiality side, but here, like availability is our major concern. Like human life, human safety is also concerned in the OT side. But IT side is again, my data is more important. Critical asset is more important. But strategy again, I have to define for the OT and IT differently. And in OT side specifically, okay, previously we work in the IT side, so we have all the tools and technology available in the market with the latest threat intelligence, new technology, skill set is available. But here more challenge like skill set. Okay, this is the first gap I observe in the OT environment. Second is the technology. Like here still in the market, OT side security solution is that not much available. Okay, nowadays OEM are trying to find the security solution relevant to the OT network as well, because here different protocol we are playing with that. Okay, so technology is there, even process wise. Okay, so now we are quite mature because last 5 to 6 year OT security are in more concern. So process wise, we are quite mature in the organization. We can define the policy, process, SOP. But again, whenever people, process, and technology come together, then and then OT security become the quite mature. And starting from the Stuxnet to till date, I think I said now it's up to the OT security guys to making towards the maturity side as well. So that's why I need to learn what is updated in going on in OT security side, and we have to implement slowly, phase by phase manner in OT network. Okay, for prevent my critical infrastructure. So that's it, Kunal. Yeah, I think this is my strategy. Okay, like how we can secure my OT network.
Okay, thank you. Also, one of the things that you're doing, and one of the things Adani is doing, kind of generally, and you've seen kind of in your other roles as well, is running running their own IT, or rather their own SOCs, right? So in my previous role at Shell and everything, kind of realized that at least earlier or initially we used to keep IT and OT SOCs separate, but there have been multiple debates both on our WhatsApp channel. There have been different videos about keeping should we keep IT and OT SOC separate? There is definitely different skill sets needed. You are interacting with different sets of people, but at the end of it, there is also a lot of kind of information that needs to be shared. There is merging points between IT and OT, and if people don't talk together, then really kind of communication challenges can happen that can allow an attacker to come in. So, want to understand your reflection throughout your journey, kind of both earlier and now in your current role. What do you see? Where do you see the evolution of SOCs? Do you see that them continuing to being separate? Do you see them being together eventually? Where do you see the pros and cons are of bringing them together versus keeping them separate?
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, as you correctly point out, SOC is a monitoring part, okay, Security Operations Center, and as for the NIST framework, generally is a detection and response part. Okay, prevention, as I highlighted, we are good, but again, detection and response, SOC is a major concern for the OT. Okay, but traditionally it seems working in the silos nature. Like OT SOC is a separate and IT SOC is a separate. Even OT SOC, I think, trending since last 5 year. Before 5 year, OT SOC word I think was new in the market. Okay, because there is no device, security device, preventive device are there, and traditional PLC, SCADA device, they are not forwarding the log to the SIM solution. Okay. So 5 years ago, I think it's very difficult to build the complete OT SOC. Integration is a far more things, but yeah, whenever like our PLC or SCADA or RTU kind of the device, they are capable to sending the logs to the SIM, and then we can decide on the building the OT SOC. But now my thought clear. It's identified it should be the integrated both IT and OT SOC because you'll find a unified view over here because you can draw the picture in your glass pane and you'll find the blind spot in your network. Okay, if you integrate both IT and OT SOC. And nowadays, SIEM solution is also capable to handle the OT SOC logs as well. Like as I give the example of the Splunk, okay, they have the add-on feature. You can integrate any partner, yeah, Yokogawa or the Siemens or the Dragos. Okay, this kind of the solution you can integrate with the Splunk and easily you can view in your SIM solution and use case you can create on the top of that. So my view is you if it's better now in this era in 2024 onwards, you can integrate both IT and OT because easily you can define the use case over there. And if attacker gaining the access of the IT network, if they traverse towards the OT network, easily you can pick in your SIM solution. But one thing is again difficult right now. It's a source solution, security, orchestration, and automation. Because automation is very difficult in OT. We cannot isolate the SCADA or PLC from remote place or head office. Okay, so orchestration, containment, again, we need to think how we can achieve in the OT network, but identification part and predictive containment that we can do, like blocking the IP address or blocking the mail address, that kind of the things we can do as a containment. Source solution, again, it will take 1 or 2 years to become the mature for the OT. But right now, it's good time to integrate both IT and OT. So if the organization has a good budget and they have the perfect solution in the place, SIM solution in the place, so they can integrate all the logs. Even now, Siemens PLC or ABB PLC, they are sending the log via syslog as well, and multiple ideal solution in the market like Nozomi is there, Otorio is there. Okay, so Armis is there. So they are sending the logs towards the SIM solution, and you can integrate with your IT. Okay, so now you'll find the single asset view in the SIM solution. And on the top of that, you can create the use case to identify the critical threat actor. Because now threat actor, once they gain the access in IT, okay, like any kind of the company, they will not stay up to the IT level. They will traverse, they will move laterally in my network, and they will try to reach out to the OT network as well. So if you have the integrated SIM solution, that is good. So these are the pros. But yeah, cons wise, again, cost is a major factor, Kunal. Like huge log you have to manage. Okay. Second is I highlighted earlier skill set. Okay. For handling the SIM use case, skill set you require. IT traditional analyst cannot handle the OT alert directly. Okay. Because they should have the knowledge about the OT protocol like Modbus, OPC UA, OPC DA, okay, MQTT protocol. So this kind of the protocol knowledge they should have, and how easily you can contain the OT network because in the field side or OT side, still traditional mindset is there where operator working on the plant, they are not happy to change the SCADA system. They are not happy to change the running systems. Okay, so it's very difficult to work with them. So by hand in hand, you have to work with the operation team of the infrastructure, and you'll find the use case, and you have to provide the training to this operation team regarding the cybersecurity. So some of the cons are there: skill set, cost, and awareness. Okay, so these are the again cons are there. But instead of the segregated SOC, I suggest the integrated SOC. Okay, Kunal.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that's helpful. Kind of at least looking at the pros and cons and what are things you have to monitor, especially if you're doing an integrated one. I think the three things you mentioned at the end, kind of it's important to monitor that to make sure those fit with the overall strategy of the company, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think a couple of things that you brought at the end, right? One is kind of working the people in the field, right? The OT professionals themselves, they're a little reticent to kind of change their ways of working, and especially at a once maybe a L1, L2 analyst can kind of do analysis on their own, but L3 at some point they will have to work closely with the people in the field, right? How do you kind of one do you normally tend to see people these L3 people have that prior experience in the field? How do you make sure the collaboration happens well between that? Is that a regular interaction? How do you kind of make sure the people in the field and the people on the cybersecurity side kind of work together closely and are prepared in case an attack happens, right? Normally people do tabletop exercises, things like that, but with people normally sitting in very different locations, it's hard to kind of have that nice synergy, nice communication going on. In like IT, where people sit in the same office or same building, it's easier to kind of build that flow, right? And people are sitting so far away and rarely working together, it becomes more difficult to kind of everybody be in sync, right? How do you kind of what do you think is the best way to kind of work around that those challenges, especially because a SOC normally tends to sit in an office, OT tends to be in the field, which is far away, and IT people don't like to go in the field, and OT people normally don't like to come in office, and vice versa, right? So it becomes a little difficult.
Yeah, Kunal, that's, I think, perfect pinpoint you highlighted, and this is the pain area in the market. Okay, like as you highlighted, analyst. I'm talking about any IT people, like they are dealing with the OT. It's very difficult. So L1, L2 generally they are trying the alert and hand over to the L3. And whenever L3 try to contain the situation or eradicate the situation, it's very difficult. Okay. Whenever L3 does not have the skill set, okay, L3 in our mindset is a 10-year experience, 15-year experience in the cybersecurity, it become the L3. So now we have to think differently. Okay, L3 concept we need to change differently. So whoever has a good knowledge in the OT side, it should OT plus some security knowledge. Okay, we can consider as L3 as well. Okay, don't we can judge the L3 based on the experience directly. Okay. Second thing, whoever responsible, either L3 or the containment or incident response team, they need to regularly talk with the OT people and guide them locally as well or remotely as well. Okay. So they need to understand the business, okay, as a leader. It's not like only technical things they need to understand. So first of all, whoever L3s are there in the SOAP, they need to understand the core business, okay, how revenues come to the organization, how monies come to the organization, and what is the cash flow in our environment. Okay, so they need to understand, like as a leader, previously they are only bound with the technical knowledge, but now in this, whenever they're working with the OT, they need to understand the business as well, they need to understand the criticality of the operation as well, and whatever legacy system we are using, they continuously highlight the risk to the board, highlight the risk to the CISO, and we can remove the such kind of the system in the network. Okay, so yeah, definitely collaboration required. There is no single thought on that between IT and OT, leadership position or L3 position. Okay, and even though now I visited multiple sites in Adani, so I realized that people are more interested to learn about the OT security or cyber security. Okay, because previously in the news or YouTube, you'll not find the attack on the OT network, but many recently attacks going on between the Russia, Ukraine, Hamas, and Iran, and kind of the cyber attack spreading in the newspaper as well. Now, even in Gujarati newspaper, you will find the cyber attack on the OT system. So awareness is more right now. So they are also interested to learn how attacker gain the access of the OT network and shut down our business as well. So if you visit the OT plant and OT site, you can discuss with the local team member. They'll share their knowledge and you can share your perspective with them. Okay. So this collaboration required and they can easily understand. It's not like nowadays they are not interested to learning the cyber security, not supporting the cyber security in OT. But yeah, first priority for them is the business. Second priority is the cyber security. So we have to guide politely what impact or the consequence are there if any cyber attack occur. Okay, and what we are trying to achieve. Okay, we are not a roadblocker. So generally, we have to find the solution in such a manner like uh, they run the business offline or some kind of the attack. They can isolate the particular network and manually they can work. Okay, traditionally SCADA was not there. Traditionally, automation was not there. Till that at that time also they will run the business. So we have to guide them whenever attack occur. We can isolate your SCADA. Okay, then how you run the operation. So they can understand. Yeah, manually they require the effort sometimes. Okay. So this kind of the healthy discussion required between the IT and OT, IT L3 side and the OT side as well. So then and then I think we can run the show. Otherwise, if there is a working in the silos nature, like IT is working separately, OT working separately, then our goal will not achieve, Kunal. Okay, so yeah, there is no second thought of that. So regular training require even more governance whenever you are going for the CA audit or ISO audit or the DPDP Act. That also mention, okay, like in governance also they say that are you providing regular training in the field side or not? Okay, so training is more important between the IT and OT. So that's a thought, Kunal, from my side.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that's
Yeah.
helpful. Even so far we've been talking about kind of the little bit about the past, your prior experience, kind of what you're doing currently. Right now, maybe a couple, at least one question on the future and where do you see kind of the future trends heading, right? So you've been in industry, both sides of the table, as you mentioned, for a while, right? Where do you see kind of the industry, and especially from a SOC and OT SOC perspective, heading in the next 3 to 5 years? Where do you think the next challenges are? The next opportunities are, right? So for people to kind of upskill or look at kind of where would the next evolution be from a SOC and OT perspective? Where do you think that the world is going that way?
Good. So, Kunal, like now, even in university or colleges, they are starting the course, especially in the cybersecurity. And this is one new line in the market where previously guys working in the networking, coding, and like that. So they are not thinking about cybersecurity. But nowadays, after graduation, students thinks of the security side as well. Okay, so this is good. And I had multiple talk in our National Forensic University in Gandhinagar as well. And I saw that that talent has a good idea in OT security. They have the OT lab set up in their environment. Okay. And how student practically work on the OT devices. Okay. During our era in 2005, 7, that time OT lab is a different word together. Okay. But now as I've seen over here, like in Raksha Shakti University or NFSU, they have the created well set up OT lab, and the students are doing the hands-on cyber attack on the OT network. So I glad to see that such kind of the environment in the university. This is point number one. Point number two, we are always worrying about the ransomware in IT or OT. Okay, like previously multiple attacks or malware we were discussing, but ransomware is still famous nowadays. Okay, if any attack occur, ransomware is there, what to do, what are the things is, but in the market there is no discussion how to decrypt the key, how to use the decryption algorithm to prevent from the ransomware. Like Phantom or computer is there, high speed computing is also now India is working on that side. So quantum computer is helpful for the resolving the decryption part. So now also we are looking in that direction instead of the backup kind of the solution or providing the ransom to the attacker or not. Right now we are discussing such things only. Okay.
Mhm.
Instead of we are not thinking how to decrypt the this Chacha algorithm or what kind of the algorithm they are using for the
Mhm.
encryption. Even in our house, okay, we put the lock out of the door. Sometimes we lose the key or someone is stolen our key. What we do? We break our lock. Okay, we are not paying anything money to the outsider.
Yeah, yeah.
So we break the lock. So the same fundamental why we are not applying for the ransomware. So in conference research side, we have to think on that side as well. So in the internet, whenever I study, I never find such kind of the discussion, healthy discussion, how we can find the decryption key or how we can decrypt the this code, because ultimately this is some algorithm. Okay, it's not like a hash kind of the algorithm we cannot return back. Okay, it's the encryption, so decryption is might be there, some key might be there, but yeah, computing power we don't have, that is acceptable previously. But now we are good in computing power. We are running such much cloud environment, Azure or GCP or the AWS. So why we cannot use such power, computing power to decrypt such kind of the mechanism, especially for starting with this our critical infrastructure or national security. Okay. So then we can slowly move towards the industry as well. So this is one thought. So in the future might be this kind of the tech talk you will find in the future, how to decrypt the key instead of the paying the ransom
Paying the
or
ransom.
the correct, correct. So this is second point. And third point is like technology, as I highlighted. Technology day by day is even like ADR is there, MDR is there, threat intelligence. Every day you are reading the news and you'll find behavior-based something tools are there, but no one solution give the guarantee to prevent from the attack. Okay, and so like in the future you'll find that some solution might be they will give the guarantee you'll not get the ransomware 100% or in the written in the paper. Okay, so we have to work in that direction as well, so we can trust our technology instead of the people. Okay, right now people is a human weakest link in our environment, we can say that. But yeah, it will, if you give the multiple training it will not improve. I thought that. Okay, so even we cannot control on the whole the human nature. Okay, so training is fine, we can reduce the attack surface, but we cannot completely eliminate, okay, over there. So this is point number third. I think we have to find some preventive or technological solution. Through that I think we can secure our network or we can rely on the network. Okay, so this is point number three. And fourth point, like in OT network, especially right now, tools and technology are very less. Okay, still we are worried about the installing the EDR on the OT network. Okay, like due to this CrowdStrike kind of the incident. Okay, now again we are more worried about the EDR in OT network. Okay, so EDR in OT network or the ex, experience tool or technology that we can install in our OT network, still people is worried about that. So why, instead of that, we are thinking right now, no, we will not install the EDR in OT network, but why we are not thinking to find the solution? Like as I heard, read one of the article, like Apple is collecting the logs and provide to the EDR solution. So why CrowdStrike occur? Because they are playing with our Microsoft kernel. Okay, so they have the kernel level access of the Microsoft. That's why blue screen or BSOD occur. Okay, in the market. But instead of that, if Microsoft collecting the log in a library and provide to the EDR, then they can do the analysis. So security API should be required. Okay, like this API can pull the log from the operating system. They are not inherent with our operating system. So in OT side, we have to think like that. So we have to find the, instead of the EDR, we have to find the security API who can collect the log from the PLC, who can collect the log from the SCADA operating systems. Okay, and not inherent with my SCADA or not inherent with my PLC data as well. So such kind of the technological solution also we require. Okay, so this 4 point in the future you will find, Kunal, soon, I think. Okay, so that is my research in this direction. Okay.
Okay, thank you. No, that's helpful and very insightful, right? The where the direction is going, and especially from a decryption and quantum perspective, I think that that point is coming sooner or later, where current algorithms become useless, right? We have to kind of come with new algos, and kind of the world's going to change, right? So that's, yeah, that's something that's definitely coming. One of the things, Devan, that we see kind of, especially from the OT security professionals perspective, we see very active is our IT, sorry, ICS, OT opportunities community, where there are people looking for roles and people posting roles, things like that, right? So we have kind of people from different backgrounds who are kind of interested in coming into OT security, and kind of there's primarily two types of professionals. One is people coming from IT security who want to transition into OT security, and the other one is people who are coming from an OT background and transitioning into OT security. What kind of now kind of, and because Adani is such a big hirer, kind of looking for people, continue to look for people from an OT security perspective. What are the key skills? What are the key things that you'd be looking for from, I don't know, maybe different things from different profiles or things like that? What are the key things that you'd recommend people kind of build their skills on to kind of have a successful career and a successful journey in OT security?
Okay, great question. Like daily, right now we are recruiting multiple people, so we are facing this challenge. Okay, so skill set is required in the OT security side. Is not like who has a simple security knowledge they can jump into the OT security. Is not like that. But key benefit for who guys are working in the OT network or OT side only. if they are handling the SCADA or if they are handling the configuration between the PLC and SCADA kind of the things. If they are thinking to move their career in the cybersecurity, then easy for them because they are aware about the cybersecurity control. Because in recent trend, we are doing the FAT activity, okay, which is called the factory acceptance test, okay. So during the fact now, cybersecurity we are also reviewing as per the compliance. Okay, like SCADA hardening is properly done or not, or firewall configured or not properly, or the PLC hardenings are properly is there or not, antivirus is configured properly or not. So during the fact, this OT guys can learn the cybersecurity slowly. Okay, and multiple time we are doing the fact they are asking the question if we want to build the career in cybersecurity, Divan, what to do? Okay, so that time, I suggested basic certification of the cybersecurity because they are very much aware about the OT network. But in coming into the cybersecurity, starting with this basic security certification, okay, like Security Plus, Competia, kind of the certification, or the go in the Udemy, search some basic security course. So they will get the idea how security is concerning in IT OT networks. So start with that. Start basic course in Udemy. Start with the Security Plus, Competia, and if you have the gain the knowledge over there, then go for the CEH kind of the certificate, certified ethical hacker from the EC counseling. So they have already idea about the OT network, but if they gain the knowledge of this kind of the certification. Okay. Plus nowadays like Clarity, Nozomi, they are providing the certification as well. Okay. So do this certification because they are selling the ideal solution in the market. So they can capture the packet from my switch, use the threat intelligence and generate the security alerts for my SOC team. Okay. So they are also providing some certification. Go with that. Okay. So at least they will get the idea what kind of the alert generated by the PLC or the SCADA. So FAT or the SET site acceptance test are very crucial for them. Is a trigger for them. Okay, so that is one point. So yeah, this for them is very like bright future in the market if they have the OT knowledge and they want to move in the cybersecurity. Then OT security guys we can get from the market easily. Okay, and Adani is looking such kind of the guy who has OT knowledge. At least 8 to 10 years is fine. Then at least 1 year cybersecurity knowledge that is good for me. Okay, so we are looking the guys who has a good OT knowledge is fine. I understand they don't have the much cybersecurity knowledge, but they have the passion or interest to learn about cybersecurity. They have some basic certification course. This kind of the guys is suitable for me in the OT security side. I knew I cannot get ready-made resource from the market who has a good cybersecurity or sorry OT security knowledge in this field. Okay, I knew that I have to accept this reality. Okay, so what I have to do, I try to find the talent who has a good OT knowledge plus some certification or 1 year experience in the security side. So such kind of the talent I am looking from the market. So I can train in the cyber security side easily, and I can learn from them from the OT network as well. So from for them, it's very good career in the future. Okay, and whoever working in the IT purely since last 8 years, 10 years, so they have to learn about the OT network anyhow. Okay, because future is OT in any industry, not only manufacturing like health industry, you can say that pharma industry or manufacturing, automotive industry. Beyond the OT, so we are going for the vehicle SOC as well. Okay, so vehicle SOC will come soon because they are also using the CAN bus protocol and they are worried about the CAN bus as well. Okay. So soon vehicle SOC will come. So automotive industries will also look for the OT security guys. So this is bright future. And whoever working in the IT security guys, they have to learn about the IC 62443 standards. So they will get the idea what kind of the OT going on in the market and what kind of the security research going over there. Okay. So they have to learn over there, and based on that, they can move in the OT security side. But yeah, definitely require the OT talent in the market. Okay, right now percentage is very less, 8 to 10%, but now at least we required 40 to 50% talent in the market. Okay, in Indian market especially. Okay, yeah, Kunal.
Thanks, Devan. Yeah. And hopefully, with more and more sessions like this and you spreading the word, maybe we'll get more and more people interested in this. Um, So, last couple of questions, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. One of the other challenges, especially from an India perspective, that we tend to see a lot is kind of making senior leadership and kind of even a lot of times CISOs aware of the challenges of an OT cybersecurity perspective. Generally, kind of in IT cybersecurity has been always in the forefront, as we discussed earlier, and that's why, as a result, most of the leaders, cybersecurity leaders, also come from a IT cybersecurity pedigrees. For them to kind of, how do you kind of go about kind of convincing them that we need to invest money and invest kind of efforts from an OT cybersecurity perspective as well, especially because kind of because the challenge is not just from a cybersecurity perspective, also from a manufacturing head or somebody who owns that plant, right? Because plant is saying, plant तो सबसे इतने साल से ठीक चल रहा है. What is the problem, right? So that is normally kind of the question that you get. Yeah, you're getting a raw material in, you're getting product out. There's no problems. Why do we need to invest all this money on more resourcing? That generally takes away focus and time from getting manufacturing done. So how do you kind of, have you faced these challenges before, or what do you think is the right way to approach this and make sure people are kind of aware on that?
Yeah, I think very tough question, Kunal, you asked at the last moment. Okay. And it's not only OT side, but IT side also, like cybersecurity folks facing the same challenge to get the budget from the leadership. Okay. Because cybersecurity area is not a return of investment easily you can highlight to the management. Okay. If I can purchase the firewall or SIM solution, you'll not find the return of the investment directly in the money form. Okay. So it's very difficult in both the IT and OT side, but it's same strategy I have to use for the IT and OT for getting the money over there. Is one strategy like reputation loss, okay? Or we are the security guys, directly benefit you'll not seen if we are here, okay? But we can prevent from the loss or we can prevent from the financial loss, okay? So such kind of the things we have to highlight to the leadership, whatever revenues are growing and profit is going. So we cannot reduce the profit in upcoming days. So we are here security guys. It's not like increasing in the revenue, but yeah, we are the business enabler. Okay, so we cannot decrease in the profit. Okay, we are here for defender. So in any security, like we cannot increase the revenue directly, but yeah, through the reputation, they can gain the business in the market. If OT security side, like in Adani, we are quite mature, so we can easily sell our energy to the government or any third party. Okay, so reputation, with the help of the reputation, they can gain the business or they increase the business. This is one fundamental thing I have to convey to my management. Second, uh, we can give the assurity, like you'll not find the huge loss. If one ransomware might be there, last the millions of the rupees, then might be all profit left towards the direction. So I can give such kind of the assurance to my management. Okay, one is reputation and one is the profit. Okay, you cannot lose the profit. Okay, in the market. So in this strategy, like OT or IT, and OT side is very quite difficult, as you highlighted. Business chal raha hai, why they require the security things. Okay, in OT side, so that time we have to highlight them. Like nowadays is not IT and OT separate things because they are selling the data in IT network as well. Previously, they are running the business in air gap network. Okay. Whatever data is there within a plant only. They cannot share the data over the cloud or over the head office. Okay. But nowadays they knew for the performance improvement or efficiency purpose, they are selling the data in the IT side as well. Okay, so whatever data they are sharing towards the cloud or the for analytics purpose or the performance purpose, so it might be risk is there because you are sharing your data, plant data towards IT network. Okay, so this link I have to highlight them, and based on that I can convince like if any attack occur, might be your plant will be shut down or your how you can run the business. Okay, at the ground level, if any attack comes reach towards your network. Okay, and we can highlight two, three critical case like colonial pipeline or the Florida water treatment plant, kind of the statement we have to discuss with them. Then they can realize, okay, not technically, we have to use the layman language with them. Okay, if I give the Chacha algorithm encryption, blah, blah, blah with them, they cannot understand easily. Okay, so with the help of the layman language, I can guide them, understand them. If I ask the 100 million, I'll get the 10 million at least, okay, from the management.
Okay.
Yeah, Kunal. So that's the fact in the market. Yeah.
So then the strategy is always to ask for 10 times more, right? So then you get the
Obviously,
budget you need.
in manpower, in the budget, okay, you have to ask the more, then you'll find something over there. Okay.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. One last question, and then I'll open it to Q&A. How do you keep yourself updated, especially other than OT security professionals community? How do you keep yourself updated in terms of what's happening from a cybersecurity perspective? Kind of so keep in base with kind of new technologies, new solutions that are there, and and then implement that internally. So how do you kind of keep yourself updated?
Yeah, I think in cybersecurity era, like we have to update regularly, okay. But how is the biggest question? So how like is OT security professional kind of the communities? First point, we have to associate with such kind of the community regularly. We have to read the blog, article, participate in the tech talk. So at least you'll get the idea what's going on in the market. We have to heard from the leader directly, okay. So that is point number one that you already highlighted. Like we have to join this such kind of the community. Okay. So then we'll get the idea about what's going on in this market. Second, we have to read daily articles, something like magazine or regular subscription channel. So in the mail, we'll get the like hackernews.com or the etc. So kind of the thing. So that daily send the mail to us. Okay. What's updates going on in the market, and our mind should like that. Is as a cybersecurity professional we have to think how and why. These two questions each time we have to ask whenever we read the news, okay, like CrowdStrike created this damage. Okay, so first question comes in our mind like that, how or why. These two question always comes in our mind if we are truly cybersecurity leader or the researcher, okay, instead of the what or the instead of the what and why. So how is very much difficult question. So we'll get the more idea. Third thing is like many applications are there. They are feeding the news in like cyber is one of the application that I follow regularly. So from that we'll get the update. And fourth, like threat intelligence, like in our company where we're working, or the government or the private threat intelligence feed, like certain also providing the threat intelligence feed, or NCIPC, they are providing the threat intel feed to us regularly. Okay. So we have to read regularly, like what's going on in that feed. Okay, what's going on in market, either is associated with my business or not, it doesn't matter. But at least we have to understand what's going on in this market. So we'll get the more idea. Okay. And fourth is like as you highlighted, so WhatsApp chat is there. Okay. So WhatsApp collaboration is easy because handy. It's very handy. Like in mobile, we are using the application or WhatsApp daily. We cannot open the laptop and read the article. Okay. So better any handy application or WhatsApp group is there, so we can read easily. Okay. So daily, my suggestion, at least 1 or 2 hours, you have to read about in your area, like cybersecurity, IT or OT, and go for the certification. Okay, even I'm not study with my certification, so I'm running behind the certification as well, whatever good certification in the market. Okay, so this is my fundamental, my thought process. Keep updated, keep learning, and yeah, go ahead in your life. Okay, in your goal.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Now we'll kind of go into audience questions. Well, I think couple of questions or one theme that I'm seeing from the Q&A primarily is that kind of the challenges from a OT security solutions perspective, right? So and how do you balance that with kind of requirements from legacy OEMs, right? So uh, there's always a kind of a balance or kind of challenge between kind of people who provide the OT security solutions and people who provide the actual OT themselves, like the legacy OEMs. And there's always, and kind of recently, there's always been this dance around what will work, what will not work, what is allowed, what is not allowed, right? What do you think are recommendations to manage this and manage kind of this difficult situation that comes in a lot of times from a OT, from a plant perspective, right? Because you have
Yeah, yeah,
two areas that are pulling on different sides, right? So how do you kind of get that? How do you balance that out?
yeah. Great, Kunal. So. One thing is a preventive solution. I knew that. Okay, it's we cannot directly implement in OT networks, so we have to focus other part of the NIST cybersecurity framework like detection and response. Okay, So detection we can implement if, say, for example, we are running the SCADA on 2012 and the legacy systems are there in the network. They don't want to change right now. Fine, okay, but we have to put some compensating control over there. Okay, so it's not like we can sit ideal if they are running 2012 and we can sit ideal and watching over there. It's not like that. So we have to put some detection mechanism. So as I earlier discussed, detection idea is kind of the solution we have to implement in our network, OT network. Okay, that is not directly related to my SCADA or OT infrastructure. Okay, they are passively scan my network. Okay, so it's one of the brightest solution in the market. Not only Nozomi, Clarity, Armis, Autorio, many kind of the solution is there. You can put the sensor in the switch wherever your core switch is there, IT and OT conversion switch is there. You can insert your device and the passively capturing the packet. So it will not harm your OT network, but you can detect whatever attacker is going in your network or any your PLC's end of life, end of support, or your SCADA is communicating to the malicious IP. So such kind of the things you can observe with the help of the passive scanning. This is point number one. Point number two, don't go with the EDR or high volumetric agent in the server. Instead of that, go with the basic antivirus as of now in the server. So they can protect the signature based kind of the attack, okay, in the operating system. Third is the hardening part. Okay, if possible, whatever during the fat you can do the hardening. If you are running the legacy system, as it whatever preventive hardening you can do, you can configure at your server and the system as well. Fourth, segmentation you can do. Okay, there is no technology requirement. So try to possible to configure the VLAN or put the firewall. That will not harm your network. But yeah, smartly you have to design your architecture, OT architecture. Okay, so as of now, I'm not talking about the technology you can apply like a NEC solution, DLP solution, like the encryption solution. I'm not talking about that part. Okay. So I'm talking about the monitoring part, architecture part. At least you can start with that in OT network. Okay. So you can almost secure your OT network. If you have the visibility of your asset, if you have the visibility of your OT infra, and if you have the segmentation, then can you secure your OT network. So that's my thought, Kunal. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We also have one question from the audience coming in from Pritesh. So uh, let me kind of enable him. Let me see how.
Kunal, he's enabled. Pritesh, you
Okay,
can
great.
unmute
Yeah.
yourself and ask your question.
Did we lose Pritesh? I think did we lose?
Yes, yes, yeah,
Yeah,
it's unmute
yeah.
now. Hi, yeah.
Hi, yes.
Good evening, sir. First of all, Divan sir and Krunal sir, thank you so much for arranging such a wonderful session. Uh, am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. Go
Pritesh.
ahead.
Yes, yes, very
Okay, okay.
much.
So my question is like, sir, you are a part of a group. Rather, I will say you are a part of a conglomerate involved in multiple, we can say, nation critical businesses like ports, airports. And when we speak about OT security, like as you mentioned that network segmentation is a powerful strategy to reduce the attack surface in OT environment. So, sir, can you please elaborate on those front?
Okay, yeah, Pritesh. So like segmentation is a bigger word. Okay, like in IT side, multiple solution is there in the market, like application level you can segregate, or the operating system level you can segregate, but in OT network you cannot segregate this level. Okay, a granular level. So high level segregation like that, you have to define your Purdue model. Like in Purdue model, whatever level 0 device are there, level 1, level 2, level 3, 3.5. So each layer you have to first segregate. Okay, like whenever your PLC is communicating to the SCADA, so between layer level 1 and level 2, you have to isolate. Okay, in the different segment altogether. Okay, either you segregate via VLAN as of now. and slowly you can segregate via firewall. That is again more important between the PLC and SCADA. Okay, because right now I observe the flat network in this OT environment. Okay, you will not find the segregated network. So first you have to, based on the Purdy model, you have to segregate. Okay. Third, multiple SCADA you are running in your environment. Say, for example, between the SCADA, you have to visibility. You require the visibility, what's traffic going on, if any lateral movement is there or not. Okay. So that time
Okay.
also you have to segregate both the segment. Okay, not in the same segment. Generally, I observe 192.168.0.0, same network you are floating in your OT landscape. So you have to segment that, John. Fourth one is like create the OT kind of the zone. Okay. Like in IT, we have the demilitarized zone. Similarly, like in OT, you can create the demilitarized zone and you can put the critical server over there. Like if you want to access the SCADA remotely, first you create the jump host, and through jump host, you can connect to the SCADA. Okay. So
Okay.
you can create that zone as well, OT zone. So easily attacker cannot gain the access in the trust network. Okay. So you can prevent up to the DMZ layer. And nowadays is not like OT should not connect to the internet. So Windows patches require, antivirus update require. At least you have to give some URL whitelisting to update the patches and the signature in the operating system or antivirus. So at least you can allow through the firewall. Okay. So IT/OT convergence spiral, you can start with that, and later on you can segregate your network with the help of the VLAN, with the help of the firewall. Okay, so that kind of the segregation I'm talking about. But segmentation, I think it's quite more mature in the IT side. So each application level we can whitelist in the IT side. But yeah, as of now we cannot do at the OT level because we don't know which controlling or tagging they are using at the SCADA level. So Pritesh, this is my thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we have the next question. We have a couple of last questions as well. So next one from Sandeep, and then Amit, and then we'll wrap up.
Thank you. Hi, Devanshu. Just
Yeah, hey Sandeep.
one question I want to ask you. So, considering there are multiple industries, like the previous I think Pritesh was saying that Adani Group does we're into ports, airports, and also green energy, right? Which is what you are looking after. Do you think there are different OT practices for different industries, or is it are they common, or do you think that they can be different depending on what the business is actually doing?
Correct, correct. Good question, Sandeep. I think Kunal, Sandeep is from my team only. Okay. Thank you, Sandeep. Yeah. So you can ask this question in my office also. Like, so,
So this,
but you,
with this week, everyone gets to learn. So I think it's good he asked right now.
no, I'm just kidding. Yeah. But yeah, Sandeep is a good question. Different industry. OT word is common, like operational technology. So as I started my conversation, this podcast, okay, I highlighted we have to simple our security. Okay. So same fundamental we have to apply in any industry like port, airport, or the green energy or renewable. Okay. Like fundamental, we have to apply it like IT/OT convergence firewall, segmentation. Ultimately, they are also using the SCADA. Any industry you can pick, okay, they are now monitoring or controlling from the single glass of the pane in the control room. Okay, so this is common for all the OT environment, either in the manufacturing industry or the airport or aviation industry or the manufacturing industries. Okay, so first you can apply simple basic control over there, but whenever you tighten your security control, okay, that time you have to think which industry you are working, like if you are simple monitoring the plant or there is no harm on the human life, say for example as we in our energy like renewable, okay, there is no directly harm on the human, but yeah, might be the loss of the business or might be loss of the financial. Okay, so in the renewable there is no harm, but whenever you're working in the nuclear plant or the refinery, that time there is a harm of the people as well. We can might be the loss of the life as well. So that time we have to, whenever we are trying to tighten our security control, we have to think, double think that side. Okay, so immediately we cannot apply in this kind of the industry. Okay, so basic, I suggest basic security control you can apply in all kind of the industry, But whenever you are like as a security nature, we are slowly strengthen our security control. First we put the firewall, first we segment, then again in the firewall we are creating the more granular rule. Slowly we are installing the EDR. Okay, so whenever you are hardening, we are doing so. Whenever you are doing in the industry, that time you have to thought first on the business. Okay, what kind of the risk we are working? If it is this occur, okay, if any impact occur on the business, how we can recover easily. Okay, so basic security control you can apply, but whenever you strengthen your security control in this industry, that time you have to think more. Okay, in OT side especially.
Got it. So thank you, sir. Thanks, Kunal, for arranging this session.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah,
Amit,
any
over
more
to you.
question? Yeah,
Yeah,
Amit.
Amit Mutale, I think first then. Yeah.
Thanks, Divan. Thanks, Kunal and the entire team. Uh, One question regarding maturity of the SOC. So, Divan, what do you think that current maturity of your SOC is at? And do you think that, I mean, if you want, or what should be your next level of the maturity? What is the difference between this level and that level? What challenges you might face to take your SOC to the next maturity level? Do you think that there should be some ready documentation also should be available, or you are developing any kind of roadmap or documentation internally to take your
Maturing
SOC
your
to next
SOC, yeah.
maturity level in the phase manner or something like that?
Okay. I cannot give straightforward answer for my SOC for security reason, but yeah, overall highlight I can tell you like how we can mature our SOC or in the industry SOC. Okay, so maturity in the SOC right now I assume that we are discussing for IT, but OT side I will also cover in your answer. Okay, so first maturity defined based on some statistics or parameter. Okay, like so previously we create the rule use case, L1 analyst are trying the use case, might be the close as a false positive. So now maturity is towards the some parameter like mean time to assignment, mean time to detection, mean time to response. So detection should be the faster. Whenever you identify the threat actor in your network, within a 1 minute or 2 minutes, you have to kick out the threat actor from the network. That is the thought in the any operating SOC. Okay, so that is point number one. For maturing the SOC, our detection should be the faster. And how we can faster the detection? Because as per the CrowdStrike, one of the blog they mention MTTA, mean time to assignment should be the 1 second, and the mean time to the response might be the 5 minutes, something. So manually it's not possible. So we have to apply the automation over there. Okay, for mean time for assignment of the alert, for the containment of the situation or triaging. So we have to create the playbook in the SOAR. And slowly we have to create the playbook for the OT SOC as well, like predictable response we can do over there. Okay, so automation is the only solution in the SOC side to become the mature, and like then you can increase this parameter and you can present to your management mean time to detection, mean time to response, and mean time to triage, and mean time to assignment. Such kind of the parameter you can highlight to your management, but whenever automation in place. Okay, completely. Point number two is like SOP should be in the place. Whatever triaging process, containment process, so well-defined IT and OT SOP should be in the place. Okay, so easily L1, L2, or L3 can easily go with that playbook, incident management response. Okay, so SOP should be there. And third bullet is your use case. Whenever you are running the SOC, either IT or OT, if your use case are poor, then there is no use or maturity of the SOC we can discuss over here. If you have the only 10 to 12 use case in your SIM solution and your team running behind that, so might be you can lose some insider threat or the insider threat intelligence. So you can create the use case based on your threat intelligence, based on your industry, or based on your MITRE framework, or the any framework you can follow. But MITRE, I think nowadays industries are following, and MITRE also now accommodate the OT security use case as well. So you can create that use case. So these three formula for becoming the mature, becoming the maturity of the SOC. One is the your parameter MTTA, MTTD, MTTR. Second is your SOP or process wise, and third thing is your use case creation. anyhow technology you will buy Splunk or the QRadar or any kind of the solution. So solution is fine. I'm not talking about the technology, but people, process, and technology should be there completely to becoming the maturity of the SOC. And Adani side, as I highlighted, OT, we are more focusing. So we'll integrate the OT SOC with our IT SOC. So we are quite mature. So whenever you are working in enterprise kind of the organization, they have the good budget in the market. Okay. So they are mature in that environment. So they are seeing the other risk in this network and they integrate with the SOC. Okay. So that's it. These three bullet you can try for the maturing the SOC.
Sure. Thank you.
Devan, sorry, we have one last question from Amit Singh, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll let you go. I know we're going over time. Amit
Saturday,
Singh,
yeah, free.
yeah, I know.
Hi,
But
hi
Amit Singh,
Kunal.
over to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Amit, yeah.
hi Kunal and Diwan. First of all, thanks. It is more than question because just I had something to say on the last two questions just to add on. Basically, first of all, it is a nice interaction and insights from you guys. Just one question has come whether there all the OT like security is same or it goes different, and already it is explained by Diwan. But just to add on it, like of course the basic control is explained by Divan, and there are some basics, be it segmented control or whatever solution. But any of the asset, of course, is risk driven, and I think he had say like if it is oil and gas and other, but I would say the starting point is the risk. If you do not do the risk assessment, you at all don't know what, where, and how. So basically, yes, each asset is unique, specific, be it irrespective of whatever assets. So just that is one point I wanted to add on to this. And I think the last question just now, which is answered. So just I think on 6th of August, IEC has released the latest release of their 62443-2-1, where they emphasized a lot on the maturity level of the organization and asset owners. It is a quite good description if you get some time. Annexure C has defined requirement for the organizations and asset owners, so you can go ahead for good insights. Plus other volumes, other series is also defined the maturity levels for OT for supplier, product supplier, and manufacturers. So I think this two specific point I wanted to put. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, Amit. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the insights, Amit. And Devan, thanks for your time. I think this has been a very useful and interactive sessions, very thoughtful insights, both on your journey, kind of how and kind of the way going forward. We kind of really appreciate your time. Thank you for this. And
Yeah.
for everyone in the attendance, thank you for coming. I mean, it's really been kind of good to have everyone sharing their questions, their insights.
Thank you, Kunal, for having me here. I think do this kind of the work, and I think it's required for our society. Okay, and wherever you require my help, I can every time I can contribute to this society. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
Please
Yeah.
follow
Thank you,
us
guys. Bye bye.
on the different channels. Thanks. Bye bye.